nice. I'm very jealous.
I have a small one too.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a small one, you got a small one. But I mean, it's how you use it.
That's what they tell me. I don't have a little dick.
What else are they gonna say?
Huh?
What else would they say?
Exactly. What
Say
else are you gonna say?
later.
You fucking pussy.
Bye.
Yeah. We're in this far.
Wait,
Already been on-
Wish your
already-
dick was, but
Already been on 3 dates. Can't leave now, or else you hurt someone's feelings.
the old
Committed.
3-date rule. When is this? 1920?
That's how it is.
We're on 3 dates. He hasn't
We've
popped
been-
the question yet.
You hasn't popped a question yet. I thought we were getting married. I thought I'd be married.
We were
by
going
20
steady.
I thought I was gonna be married by 21.
Remember that Coach Hines thing?
Which one?
You remember like the guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. One
That
of the
is a noisy mic.
I can make you less noisy. Put you on the fucking ground. I know it's noisy, Mike. It was when we decided to take it to New York for no fucking reason. Came back dumb. I have no idea. One of the Coach Hines
Let's do
things.
the podcast in New York.
Yeah, so stupid. Let's not do it now in a moment of weakness. Let's make ourselves do fucking extra shit.
Let's bring bigger bags.
God damn it. Hey, everybody, let's halt the fun. We got to go do a podcast where we'll manufacture it. We'll repeat everything we just did naturally.
Good times. Good times.
Coach Hines.
He was doing a sex ed one time,
Yeah.
and I always remember this line because in hindsight, it's like what I've realized.
Hines. Sight.
Maybe you take a break. No, it's all good.
In Hines.
Did you ever watch that?
No.
It's the guy
Never?
from Key and Peele back on Mad TV, and it was like the funniest thing.
Which guy from Key and Peele?
Golden.
The tall one, Keegan
Okay.
Michael Key.
Okay.
My friend Thomas. This is literally like what taught him how to have like a sense of humor. Like he was funny before, and this gave him like direction. I don't know why.
Here's my lane, folks.
Yeah, but he would dress up like a gym teacher who's just like off his rocker. And Yamanashi.
Oh, is that the one from when the guy would just dress as like
like
the
short
teacher?
gym teacher?
Is that
Had,
the
like a polo tucked into short shorts and
is
a
that
whistle.
is that the same thing as the as a substitute teacher, or is that Key and Peele?
When he's
The
like,
substitute teacher is like Aaron.
Yeah. Is that Key and Peele?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it's like basically the same character though,
Okay.
I feel like it's that guy.
tweaked. a
Yeah,
little.
or maybe like
Like
that guy is his older brother,
Yeah.
and Coach Hines is like his younger brother. But yeah, similar.
Coach
lane.
Hines has got a little more oomph to him.
Yeah, it's a little more spry.
Okay.
But
Back in the day.
when I realized how much people were like, I feel like I have like a very old timey way of like I kind of used to think that shit of like, well, you go on a couple dates and this and that. Meanwhile, you talk to somebody and just fucking deep throated the first time they met. But Coach Hines is like,
No, it is true.
I'm
is
always
true.
hearing that.
Yeah.
Everyone at work
Always hearing that.
everyone at work is fucking. But Coach Hines has a line where he goes, "Back in my day, you put your arm around a girl. If your arm touched the back of her neck, she'd get pregnant." And it's like
Yup.
literally like how I identified that as weird now, but at the time I was like, yes,
Yes.
correct.
That's how that happens.
That is
That's
true.
How that
You
happens.
wait until marriage.
You probably have
and
to
sex.
be going out a good 3 months before you put your back of your arm touch the back
That's
of
how
the
it
neck.
is.
Skin on skin. Woo.
Yeah,
I gotta get-
good golly.
I gotta get down on one knee and ask this girl to be my girlfriend.
On my promise ring.
Yeah.
No, I was never that.
I bought a promise ring once. You only buy promise rings when you cheat on a girl, though.
Is that what happened?
I think so. I think that's what it is, especially now, because now it's like,
Did you cheat
Promise
on
I
a girl?
won't do this
listen,
again.
I didn't like sleep with
Listen.
anybody like she did. That slut.
She
But
did.
I was there text messages? Yeah.
I was trying to get out.
I was trying to get out. I told her you don't want to get in on this. I'm in a weird spot in my life.
Ricky
where
Bobby, or no,
I'm in a weird spot in my life where I'm surrounded by beautiful women at work. I've come out of my shell. I've realized how charming I am, and everybody fucking loves it. So you either need to take a year break
Check yourself.
and let me fuck around for a bit.
Dewey, you don't want no part of this shit.
You know what? This is a dark road. No, yeah. So she didn't get the hint. and
Threatened to kill herself.
she did. She was slicing up
That
her leg.
happens. That happens.
Yeah.
What a
She had me
whore.
trapped.
That's
Yeah.
it's not a good
But
situation.
no, so I bought her a
What a way to
so I
have
bought
power.
her so I bought her a promise ring. And
Don't educate yourself. Don't develop a skill set.
no, she hated the fact
Trap a man.
hated the fact that I smoked weed, even though like that was a thing before we started dating, and she knew I smoked weed
Why are you someone worth trapping then if you're a dirty pothead?
because I was funny. She enjoyed my company. That's what it is.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Good in bed.
Big ol' schlong.
Come on,
Like a racehorse.
come on. No, yeah. So I think that's what it is now. I think most people buy a promise ring because they're like, "Fuck, I fucked up. I don't want to be alone." So
I associate promise rings with the Jonas Brothers.
Those are purity rings. But yes, same thing. I
Yeah.
also
what's a purity ring? Is that like an abstinent ring?
Yes.
I remember when they tried to have us sign those like slips in high school, and a bunch of people were like, "Nah,
Did you go to Catholic high school?
nah." It was at Manuka.
The
They were
fuck?
like, "Do you guys want to sign this?"
What?
It was
Was this in the
public
school or in the
school?
parking
It
lot?
was in health
Some-
class. You didn't do this?
No.
What?
Yeah, dude. It was
This is
in
disturbing.
yeah, dude. It was in health class, and I remember like getting taught about genital warts, herpes,
Well, that,
and all this
yeah,
other
normal
shit.
shit.
And then it would end with like the whole unit would be like, and then to avoid all this, be abstinent, stick to the big A. And now we do have this like certificate thing that you could sign at the back of your book that says like, oh yeah, I vow to be abstinent, blah blah blah, and we'll take him, we'll hang him up in the hallway. I remember I didn't do it, and a bunch of people were like, I ain't fucking signing this, and he was like, well,
I
a lot of
can't make
people
you-
sign. I need to hang these in the fucking hallway, so you're like, do we have to sign it?
That's fucking funny as hell. No, that's very strange.
Me and my group of friends who are nowhere close to getting laid, just being like, do I have to sign it?
We get so much pussy.
It's like, nah.
Yeah,
It wouldn't matter, bud.
little late for this one.
Yeah,
Nah,
no.
purity rings are always funny as fuck to me. Just that whole Jonas Brothers era, just trying to push that shit. And like same with the promise ring. I feel like it was just like a phase or like a time. There's like, yeah, it's fucking.
Did you guys fuck in high school?
Did
guy
we
did.
fuck?
No, not
This
you
guy
guys.
did.
I mean,
You did. You were getting poon. You were throwing it down.
every now and then. Once
Jackie, stop
once a
listening.
blue moon.
This guy was throwing it around.
Jackie, stop listening. Christian, stop listening.
He was doing all right.
You doing all right?
He was doing all right.
Really?
Once in a blue moon.
Okay. Good for you, man.
I mean,
Good for you. I wasn't.
there's a field. I had to play.
He's got track record.
And he's got a track record. He's got a bounty count of in the double digits.
But you know what? That health shit did scare the fuck out of me. To a point
I
where
remember it
like,
scared
I
me.
would have been a bigger whore, but I was like, no.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Like, I don't want to get AIDS and die.
I was too shy.
The only thing my school, like in New York, ever really did as far as like drugs or sex or anything, I feel like they really just kind of hit both with like AIDS. They were like,
You will get AIDS and die.
yeah, they're like
Don't
drug
be
sharing
gay.
drugs
Don't be
leads to
gay.
AIDS.
Don't be gay.
Sex also AIDS, and they just kind of like I remember like that was a big thing. Like I never heard of Blood Brothers at the time, and I remember the person coming in being like, of the list of like drugs and sex, they were like, no Blood Brothers, AIDS, and to like go home and be like, what the fuck is that? My mom was like, it's when kids would cut their fingers and press them together. I'd be like, what? And then I remember going over to this one kid's house who had like a bunch of older brothers, and
They all did it.
no, they were they were just kind of like a degenerate family.
Yeah.
And I was friends with the one kid, and my mom didn't really want me to go over there, but the one time I did, and she's like, I don't care if it's the coolest thing, if everyone's doing it, you don't. I'm like, Mom, I don't know what the fuck you think like goes through my head that I'd be like, man, I hope someone cuts their hand and extends it to me. But like, I'd be mortified if someone asked me to do that. I'm not the biggest germaphobe, but I'm also not like, yeah, let's fucking mix blood.
That and also, like, I can't cut myself.
Not to the
I
point
don't
that blood would-
Yeah,
I could maybe prick a
like, get
finger.
scratch,
Yeah,
maybe,
but,
like to get
a
blood
flesh
out,
wound?
like,
Yeah.
I don't know how people do that shit.
I could not do that shit at all.
I can hit myself, but it has to be
Oh,
a
I
moment
could
of
fucking-
rage,
yeah.
yeah. But to really slice yourself open where you know like there's gonna have like a fucking scratch in my hand, it's gonna be annoying.
Yeah.
Even like getting like splinters out with like a razor blade when you gotta like get in there.
With a razor blade?
Yeah, dude, this like contractor showed me a way with a razor blade, and it was really good.
I just
That
always
sounds
worry about hitting a
terrifying.
vein or something. That's why I get scared. I'm not scared of needles. I get scared when the needle is in that I'm gonna like twitch.
Yeah.
And then like it's gonna mess something up. That's like I freak
Bend
myself
that
out.
elbow
Yeah.
and it snaps.
Like I know they're fine. Like they'll do whatever with the like it's fine.
When like getting the splinter out?
No, I'm just saying in general.
Oh,
like
it's cutting.
Yeah,
in
like an
general.
IV
Okay.
in or some shit. Yeah.
just
Ugh.
things.
Yo, you ever get like hit with an IV and they can't find the vein and they're just fucking
No, the
Real-
nurses tell me I have great veins.
they're just drilling it.
They're like, you do heroin or something? You look great.
Ma'am, I wish. If I knew a guy, I would have by now.
Veins are very predominant. Nurses love me. They're like, oh, let's bring in that new nurse. This is a good one for her.
Literally, they would call people in. Stacy used to be a nurse at our work, and she would like always
Yeah,
comment
she
on.
used to like this one. And I
Yeah,
was like
she
that.
used to
That
like
I was
this
like I was like that is where they always draw blood from. Except I remember I had this one nurse who was like it must have been like her first day, and like she was trying to get it and just digging, just fucking going at it.
Whenever Toy Story 2 came out, however old we were then, I went to a nurse to get my blood drawn, and it literally was her first day, and she spilled me all over. Like,
Really,
It was. I don't want traumatic's probably too heavy a word, but I was definitely like
they did that to my sister.
Hesitant.
With like they pulled
before
they,
going back in.
they did that to my sister. Where like they pulled the. I think she was getting her IV out, but they like pulled the needle out without pulling the tube out, and it just fucking.
Oh my.
I was fucked up for a minute,
That's crazy.
and then we were right back to Toy Story 2. Fine.
Fine, we're good. I remember getting knocked out for the first time, and they put the mask on me.
Mm.
It was crazy.
I
So they're trying to fight it.
Oh yeah, they're like count back. I'm like, bet you I can
10.
make it to 10.
yeah.
9.
Bet.
You don't know who you're dealing with.
I'm like, shit, what did I make it to? Like 6. Like, god damn it.
Did you see
Whenever
the
I-
video of Steve-O and I think Travis Pastrana like fighting the
I've seen
oh,
Steve-O doing it.
dude,
Yeah.
just trying like to fight the anesthesia. He's sitting up. He's like this. He's like this.
I love that motherfucker.
He's like this, like, and then he just goes down.
Anytime I've ever like,
Still rigid.
oh, you just rigor mortis. Whenever I think to like fight it, I don't think I ever make it far. But there was one time when like I think they thought I was out already, and I was like, "Nice shoes," and they were like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like fucking
Like
put
turn
me
this up a
out.
bit.
Yeah.
My dad was getting stomach surgery, and he sat up. I guess like the shit like wore off, and he was like, "Yeah, I remember sitting up in the operating room. He had like tubes coming out of his mouth. He had like he was cut open, and like, dude, motherfucker sat up, and they were like." He said he remembers seeing like the doctors jump up and go, more, and like they held his ass down. Yeah,
Can you imagine waking up with all that shit down your throat?
or just waking up and like
Did
looking
you have
down
your
and seeing a
stomach
fucking.
open?
He had like he was cut from like here to here. Like they sliced him up.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I could not
He said he
imagine.
remembers sitting up.
He didn't like see himself, did he?
I don't remember.
That
I
would
remember-
be something.
Yeah.
To see your like insides.
It's like cartoonish, but not. So it's fucking gross.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
It's
my
like
doctor,
a C-section for a woman. Like they're like fully awake, but like there's just like a curtain. But they like
Scoop everything.
they take your organs out and put them to the side and like
Literally
take
put him in a bowl
literally
next
take
to you.
they take all the
like
shit
the
out.
Egyptians.
Yeah, they just
And
take
then,
all
like,
the
oh,
shit
there's
out.
that baby. Let me get him, and then
Fucker.
just try to cram this all back in there and just
so-
sew it up tight.
It's so crazy. You imagine going through that?
What kind of a weird, fucked up puzzle is that? It's like, where does this one go again? Fuck, where? Did
Hey,
you
is
take a
it the-
picture before we started?
Is it
Yeah, for real.
is it the large or small intestine first?
How's this wrap? How fucking long is this thing?
He's like,
He's practicing table magic on the dad. Has anyone seen that gallbladder? And he pulls it out behind his ear.
here it is,
Oh, it's fucking disgusting.
making jokes.
Nurse,
He's
where
like,
did I put that into? Oh,
Is this your kidney? No? Is this your kidney?
yeah.
oh, I love. I mean, I'll first say that it's not.
Taking a turn.
I love watching people do magic for black people and
Oh, like
hillbillies.
David Blade in Compton is tremendous.
Yeah, I was gonna say hood black people, hill rod white people are like the same group in one.
They're almost the same people.
I've said this for decades.
I feel like you just go down to like the ghettos, whether it be like white ghettos or like black ghettos or like.
It's literally just like if there's grass
like,
or not. That's like the biggest difference.
Well, I feel like a white ghetto though strays to like country trash.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah,
where it's like it's not a ghetto.
No,
because they don't call it a ghetto because they think a ghetto is like inner city.
No, it's
they're like no. We're just a small town.
Nah,
it's like a rundown.
Yeah, we're just a small town. We got one light.
Dilapidated, like
Galapagos.
No.
You feel like you just can't do like Mexican ghettos or like Latino ghettos or like Asian because they sound very different and like it just wouldn't be as good. I don't know.
Well, I feel like just the reaction, like
they almost have the same slang.
I don't know. Black people's reactions are just the greatest. White people
switched over to Finna, like they got the same slang.
It's
and yet they hate each other.
Look up Thomas Sowell. Just a learned man. But yeah, they have like the same. Like black people react over the top. White people have that like disbelief. I don't know. When I've seen, definitely haven't seen it as much with Mexican and Asian people, but there's usually just like that, like, oh, cool. Versus, I mean, definitely some white people and black people have that reaction too, but like Compton, like whatever fucking West Virginia ass place they went, where people are losing their minds.
You ever go?
Like, goddamn, Jimmy Bob.
you ever go down like
get Carl down here? He got to see this shit.
There's like a rabbit hole of like, you guys ever go down of like the Appalachian Mountain people? And just like the people who live like in West Virginia and like the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh.
And they're just like, dude, I watched this one video and like there's like 6 people living in one trailer with holes in the roof. And like the one dude doesn't even like talk. He just speaks in like yips. He's just like, yeah. And then he's like always looking like this.
No, once you get into mountain territory,
dude. And like
off the reservation,
and then like all their kids have some sort of like mental disease, and like,
it's like if the Amish were white trash hillbillies.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
1,000%.
Exactly.
I remember I started a movie. I can't remember. It was like the Wild Whites of West Virginia.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
I got maybe like 5 minutes into it. I couldn't do it.
It's
like,
intense.
It was. I remember someone was doing like crack or something. There was like baby, just crazy shit was going on. I'm like, I cannot do this. It was too much of a fucking movie.
I think like those people just live like that. They're like, all right, well,
it's almost like living in a third world nation.
I'll fuck my sister.
Oh no, 1,000%.
Where it's like you don't even think about like, man, like they're living. It's not like you live in Southern Illinois and you're like, man, to live in the big city of Chicago. Like they don't fucking think.
No, this is their area. This is their world.
Yeah, the world ends at the end of the fucking. Yeah,
after fucking 3 miles and fucking
that farmer's market. That's like the middle point between us and them. Like that's where we don't stray any further.
Yeah. Man, we don't go out to those city folk. Man, if it ain't mountain life, I don't know. Dude. I don't know what it is. It's like being in prison.
You know what the other cool...
You get out, you don't know where you are. You don't know what's going on. You're just scared. You're just scared of what can happen. Scared of the unknown.
The unknown.
It's the fear of the unknown that gets most of us.
The unknown or Jim Bob.
Jim Bob.
He's got a lot of kids.
It's so crazy. And they're all fucking
more than the unknown.
Dude, and it's so weird. Like they're having sex with like their sisters, their cousins, their kids.
It's obviously weird, like, but it's also like, how normal would it be if everyone you knew did that? Like that, it's almost like nature versus nurture, where it's like how much shit is built in and how much is like downloaded.
Well, I mean, even look
Nature's
at like
virtual nurture lodge.
I feel like it's just like kind of culty at that point, even. Like we were talking about shit like that. I think like the Mormons, and it's like, nah, like this is our compound, our unit. Like we just got to keep like fucking each other, and it's
you
like,
start talking about it like we have to preserve this, and it's like
and it's like at what point are we?
This is not a royal bloodline.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
This needs to be extinguished, not preserved.
You know, there's a conspiracy that who's that Mormon? The Mormon like the politician guy.
Mitt Romney.
There's a thing that he's in cahoots with the cartel. Did you know that? Because apparently his like his family has like a whole Mormon compound
in Mexico.
in Juarez, Mexico.
Oh, I did hear someone talk about this a little
where like
bit.
the cartel comes out of, apparently. And like I guess they just do like business with the cartel like to keep their shit going. And,
Oh, you
like,
have to.
You have to, obviously, but I guess they're like doing some other shady shit.
I mean, if it's like, hey, you're a fucking you have a family member that's a politician, like
Yeah.
a big politician, and we're in Mexico. Have you seen the fucking like the cartels in Mexico? Like
Crazy. It's like a military
full on SWAT uniforms,
just
like
going at it.
better armed than the police.
running the country.
So it's like, yeah, when they come over and tell you like, give me money or some shit, like, you kind of have.
it's
to.
like the government doing it.
It is the government.
Yeah.
Like
It's like when the mob
government.
would like run a city, where it's like,
1,000. Yeah.
like yeah, like the cops are around, but it's also like, and the firefighters are around. But like, if we tell fucking Joe firefighter not to go to your house, like he
coming.
listens. Yeah,
Not
He
coming.
ain't going to your house.
Because he knows that I'll come to fucking his house
Mm-hmm.
if he does. That shit's
That's
scary as
crazy.
hell.
oh my god.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that shit happening though.
You just have to rely on like bad people's good nature. Be like,
Yeah.
hope they're having a good day. Hope they're feeling reasonable today and willing to listen to logic and not just down to break all my shit because they can.
It's like, well, we're going to steal your truck. We're
Fuck
gonna
your
ki-
wife.
We're going to fuck your wife. We're going to kill you.
And you get the joy of 90% of your money goes to us.
Yeah. Fucking wild, bro.
I was going to say the other cool people I like that they do magic for is in countries that believe in magic still, like Haiti.
Oh. Or
I feel like that would
or
be
like
dangerous.
Barbados.
It's crazy,
I
bro.
feel like that would
Like
be
those, like-
dangerous.
People like don't like it. They're like, get that shit the fuck away
yeah,
from me.
that's what I'm saying.
They're like, nah.
It's black magic. Like go,
Literally.
go, voodoo man.
Go back to the ghetto.
I think it was in Haiti. They were saying like black magic was the same.
Those,
Like they didn't have a different word for it. It was
That, like,
just like
those
whatever he was doing was black magic to
Yeah.
them, or like voodoo or whatever.
those like Caribbean islands who still like believe in
I
that
think he was
shit.
in Jamaica for one,
Yeah.
and
Barbados.
Haiti was another one.
So that sounds dangerous.
I want to go to like Barbados and see like the witch doctors and shit.
Oh, I would love to go to Barbados. It sounds fucking dope.
Cool.
It's a fun thing to say. Barbados,
Oh yeah.
Barbados.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago.
I like when they do magic
Hey.
for the monkeys and shit at the zoo.
We're
Yeah.
sailing. We're sailing to the new world. What's this chain of islands here? I don't know. Tobago. Tobago, Barbados. Hey, what's this one? Haiti.
Do you think it was just all people doing like what the military did when they got to Vietnam, and they were all calling like the U.S. guys gooks because that's the word for it, and they were like, yeah, you bunch of gook. Like every island they show up, they're like Barbados, and they're like, yeah, this is Barbados. They said it's like every word just is soldier. If we just named every place soldier,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. They're preaching some shit over here. Who
that
knows?
Marcus Luttrell guy that was on Rogan,
That dude's great.
man,
Crazy.
like
Not
Marine
familiar.
or Navy
He's
SEAL.
the dude who that movie Lone Survivor's about.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw I think
Yeah.
the first one with him and Rogan.
He was saying how when like the Middle Eastern guy who was helping him showed up, and like he didn't know he was gonna help him, and so they're in like a standoff, and the guy's just trying to say he's saying like American, and he just said that only 2 English words he knew, and he goes shampoo, moisturize, and the guy's like fucking like, you know, knees
fucked
broken,
up,
half
yeah.
dead, and he's just staring like all crazy. He's got his gun drawn. He says he has the tension out of his trigger. And the guy's going, American. And he goes, I should have killed him right then. I don't know why I didn't. And he goes, shampoo, moisturizer. And he goes, I don't know why I didn't kill him, but I said shampoo, moisturizer. He's like, isn't that the craziest thing you ever heard? Like, he kept stopping. He's like, isn't that fucking crazy?
Isn't that the wildest thing?
Yeah.
He was telling a story where he was like, if 10% of like people who apply to be like in the SEALs get in, there's 1% of like people who are like, no, I'm a fucking like I'm a badass.
Yeah.
Like these people, and it's like those are the people. I guess like he had like this buddy in Iraq or something, and it was like he would just start getting bored and would just raise like an
I was talking about
American-
Jocko.
That dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know
yeah.
Jocko?
Yeah.
Dude, he was saying how like on one of his deployments, Jocko was like his commanding officer, and because he was his own he had his own platoon, but then I guess Jocko was in charge of like all the platoons, and he's like he literally like laughs, and he's like, well, you know Jocko, yeah.
He would just get bored and would just raise like
He'd go out, raise the American flag in the middle of the day just to start some shit,
just
to let motherfuckers know,
just to get some shit going.
just to get like that intense motherfucker like marches out there, sends it up, fucking probably pops a couple rounds.
Let's get it going, boys.
Yeah, and he goes, and he's like, and you gotta remember, this is Jocko, and he's got permission to jack you up. He's like, you step out of line, Jocko will jack you up. He kept saying that, jack you up, and I was getting fired the fuck up.
Just getting hyped listening to this, thinking like, I'll quit smoking weed and I'll join the Marines right now.
Oh my God, I'd be an Army Ranger so fast. He was talking about how he has to take 2 days off in between working out because he works out so hard. And obviously, if like a guy says that, you're like, okay, bud, I'm sure you do. Navy SEAL who came back from almost dying and then re-enlisted and went back to fucking Jocko level. You know, that dude says he needs 2 days to recover. I believe him. He goes, I work out so hard, I get sick and I'm throwing up and I'm like, I feel like I'm tearing myself in half. But I know I'm gonna get stronger, so I do it anyway. Fucking crazy. Like, I love it, but
Some crazy shit.
I'm working out so hard and throwing up. I feel like I'm dying.
And you got to think this is Jocko when he's got permission to jack you up.
Yeah, he goes, this is Jocko with his war face on. Rogan makes a joke. He's like, oh, Jocko always has his war face. And the guy's like, well, no. This is when he's got his war. And Rogan, like, shuts the fuck up. You know? Rogan's used to being, like, the top dog.
Yeah.
And then you like, see the switch, click when he's like, oh, right. Like,
That's right. You
Defer,
guys
yeah.
You guys are doing your thing.
usually fighting is, like, the highest ranking thing. So when you get across the table from military people, you're like, yeah, bud, why don't you shut the fuck up?
So crazy.
Your fucking amateur taekwondo career doesn't really stack up now compared to the Navy SEALs.
I love those Goggin podcasts. Those are so goddamn like that man. Like I could just watch like a 6-minute video of him talking. I'll be like, all right, let's go work out. Let's go do something.
Who?
David Goggins.
David Goggins?
You'd know him if you saw him.
Yeah, that dude who's just screaming and running 100 miles.
He talks like this.
Talks like this. Joe Rogan, listen.
Joe Rogan, I wake up.
See, I'm black. I didn't know how to swim.
He does.
Doing Alex Jones for a second.
He literally
No,
does.
no.
He starts talking about
Alex
like
Jones talks
bone
like this.
density. He's like, black people got denser bones. Makes it hard to swim.
Pull up David Goggins.
No, what are we gonna do?
Just show him his face so he knows who the fuck he's talking about. the second you see his face, you're gonna know. He's a dude who was like the SEAL. Yeah,
Fuck you.
that dude. That dude.
Okay.
You don't know that guy?
I
You've
don't
never seen
think
him?
so.
Own your shit. He's just running down like the road in fucking Arizona. It's 120. He's just ran like 60 miles.
But
and
it's
he's
what
just-
he would do regardless. Like, other people are like helping him make it into a channel and making it profitable. It's not like he's doing this for 5 minutes and then fucking stops running. Like, he's gonna be going and running in the desert regardless.
Yeah.
Someone's just there recording him.
Yeah, someone helped to figure out how to monetize it, but he's not like a YouTuber who's like,
No. He's just a dude who stretches for 2 hours every day because it's good for you.
yeah, he's the one that I learned about the psoas from,
He said he
because his
wore
psoas was so fucked up.
He said he wore a hole in his wall because he would put his leg up on it every day and stretch for 2 hours. Just destroying his fucking room.
No, he used to be like 400
He's a
pounds
dude
or
who-
something.
He's a dude who ran on like he was running so much in like this ultra marathon, he broke his feet and then just bandaged him up and kept running. Shit his pants running because he was in so much pain.
in buds for SEAL training, he would have like stress fractures all through his shins, and he would just wrap his shins every day, and then go and do like, you know, big ass pack and all the weight they carry. And
Went
so we had to go through buds again because they had to send him home the one time because he kept fucking himself up because he was so out of shape. The way he got back into shape was being like a hard ass, but then he still had like all this internal shit fucked up. So like even though he lost the weight, like his psoas was still fucked up from being like whatever it was, the posture or whatever. Like he still had internal like
he was like only
shit
working
going
out
on.
his front, so he was all hunched in. It's like his body was like pulling itself into itself.
Yeah, he did like normal shit as a fat guy to get in shape, and it was
Yeah.
good. But then he went to SEALs thinking he was like ready to go, and
Was not.
Yeah.
No.
so then he went through fucking again, which he
He
had the
went through it
stats on.
3 times.
I was
or
gonna.
some
He had the
shit.
stats on the show. Like no one does that.
Yeah.
No one does
Like-
it 3 times.
Like you should die if you're doing it 3 times. Like I think you don't sleep for like 2 weeks or like a week or some shit.
Yeah,
Something.
like
Like
that
5
Hell
days
Week or something.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week.
It's like you don't. I think you
And
sleep for
one
like
of the
3
times he had to go
hours.
home was during Hell Week. Like he was almost done with it. It wasn't like 2 halves. You know, it's like
Yeah.
almost done. Just fucking couldn't do it. Not even he couldn't do it, but like they told him he couldn't. You know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's an intense dude.
Or it's like that dude who I remember this Stern interview. I can't remember his name, but it was a dude that shot Bin Laden.
Oh, one of the SEAL Team 6 guys.
One of those guys. He was on Stern. He was just like this was like after like I guess he can come out and say like yeah I was the
Right.
dude. I was like the dude that did it or whatever. And just like another hard ass like that, just talking like yeah, just going through training, blah blah blah. Like does the whole mission, and then afterwards his buddy comes up to him. He's like, "Yo, do you realize what you just did?" He's like, "No, what's going on?" He's like, "You just shot Bin Laden. Like you're the one that did it." And he's like, "Oh, cool, man, nice, sweet." I don't know, it's just crazy.
It's weird, like how, because like they talk about all the military stuff and it's all like very legit sounding and like official. Then like it's still like that Marcus Lachelle guy. It's like such a fine line where he's like hyped. You know, he's still like a dude from Texas that's like, man, he'll jack you up. You know, like so he's still like a common guy, like a regular dude in some way. But then he also like is trained to such a degree that like it overrides whatever like dude shit where he can just fucking fall back on like, you know, assemble a gun blindfolded and all
Yeah.
that shit.
Like instincts take over or some shit.
How he was saying like the SEAL more SEALs die in training than they do in the field because the training is supposed to be like harder, so then that way you're always prepared. And I'm like, that makes sense. But
They're dying more in training though.
that seems problematic, no?
Well, that's why like there was like that uproar where it was like there's no women Navy SEALs, and it's like they can apply, they just can't get through the fucking course.
Yeah, no one said they're not allowed to.
Yeah, like they can do it. I think one finally got through.
I could only imagine the fucking shoulders on that lady.
Right.
I sent you that one
I wonder what the
thing.
dudes think, like when they're going on a mission and they're like, or I assume they're like, well, you made it through training, you should be good.
They probably think about it like anything else. Like, I mean, you're shoulder to shoulder with it, so you know if someone's slacking. So I'm sure there's plenty of dudes that get through that they're like, yeah, this fucking guy, not going to watch my back. You know, like,
Yeah.
so I'm sure she's just like anyone else. Like, either she got through,
Carried her weight or didn't.
and it doesn't seem like something you could just like get through. You wouldn't get special treatment or anything. And
No.
so it's not like,
I'm sure you're just still getting screamed at.
so it's not like our work or something where it's like, oh, like the girl fucking talked to the boss about their nails and now she's the next promotion. You know,
No,
it's
if anything, she's like singled out. She's the only lady.
right.
So, I mean,
it's a
she's probably-
disadvantage. She
yeah.
has less camaraderie, you know, like you would think, you know, less,
I would imagine they fucking rip her a new one.
because it's got to be easier for them if she's just not there. So it's almost like, hey, if we can like make her quit in the first week or what, yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably more of a target, if anything.
Yeah.
So if you make it through, I would imagine it's like more commendable.
Yeah.
And like odds are you're smaller, so
Yeah.
commendable.
That's no badass that person is.
But yeah, remember that
Crazy.
there was some general being interviewed about that, like why are there no female SEALs? And he's like, well, I'll tell you why. Because when you put 100-pound pack, they crumple. He just says it like no. He's like, what are we talking about? He's like, you think we haven't tried that? You think like no one's given it a whirl? Like, yeah, you put a fucking pack on them, they can't go as far. Like, obviously exceptions to the rule, like
Oh,
talking about
1,000, yeah.
averages, you know,
Yeah.
but obviously, like Brittany Griner exists, fucking 6'8" or whatever.
Yo,
she
she
could probably
got-
take a pack.
Speaking of her, she got fucking 9 years in a Russian gulag.
I don't think she's doing it.
Did we talk about that last week?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yo, do you know what the trade is to get her back?
Yeah, the arms dealer.
Yeah, dude. Isn't that crazy? A Russian arm. Whoever Nick Cage played in that Russian arms dealer movie. That's who they're getting back.
Nick
Talking about the
Cage.
Lord of War?
I think so. That's what Rich was telling me at work.
Fucking,
Whoever Nick Cage played, yeah.
that's wild.
That's the dude.
Well, that seems like an awful dude from that fucking movie.
It's
You should
like-
not trade for her. That sounds stupid.
Isn't that crazy?
We have like a spy over there though, who's like, oh no, like we're gonna get him too. It's like, why didn't we get him before?
Yeah.
Like we're just talking
Yeah.
about him now. Like
We're
why?
waiting for a
like,
package deal.
like Jesus fuck.
The publicity, probably.
It's like, all right.
I do
all
like
right.
though that it's like she goes over there, she broke the law, like
Yeah.
by bringing that in.
It
And
wasn't
now-
a one-time thing. She's been playing over there for years and
Yeah.
years. I know because she complains about having to go over there to play because she thinks she should be making enough money in the WNBA to afford all her trainers and, services and stuff. And we've talked about that. WNBA doesn't make money. You should be happy that it exists in the fucking first place. It's basically a charitable organization. But she knows what. It's not like she fucked up. That's my thing. She knows the laws of Russia. It wasn't we were doing a tour.
that
and
we're almost
oh,
at war with.
That's the other thing. It's like, oh, like we're gonna go to Canada and like, all right,
All right,
like,
fuck it.
whatever. Yeah.
Bring weed, sure.
Why would you? It's like going to China and bringing weed or something. You don't go to China or fucking like Russia or
No.
like North Korea. Like,
No.
obviously you
Yeah.
don't bring illegal drugs there. That's just fucking stupid.
You get there, you ask your fucking Russian to connect if they got the hookup. If not, you're sober for a couple months.
Like that was
was
what
the
it
cost
is.
of
Go
playing,
get some
yeah.
Delta 8 or something.
Fucking A, man.
So crazy.
People want to act like
People,
it's racist that we're not like doing everything we can to go and get her back. It's like we're not friends with them right now. Like shit's bad. Like we can't ask for favors
it's
from
not
people.
good.
Yeah. Like
We give this much shit over a fucking couple
We're
of weed
backing.
carts. at
We're
this
backing
bitch.
the people they're fighting.
Is she like a top star in the WNBA?
I think she's the top star.
no, she's like top 5.
Is she?
There's the like guards and wings that are better. She's big.
Oh, okay.
So she's like abnormal in the league.
I like how we're on the exact opposite side of this conversation.
What?
Like, this conversation we're having is the exact opposite of the conversation everybody else is having, where they're like, we got to get her back. This is crazy.
I don't
she
know
is
a
being
single fucking person that wants to get that bitch
really.
back.
That's all like online's talking about, like the news articles and shit.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
all that fucking online. But like, have you ever actually met a person that's been like, man, the WNBA hasn't been
No.
the same since she's been in
it
Russia?
is
Never.
hurting
Like-
without her.
I don't hear anybody talking about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm still going about my fucking day. I don't give a shit about this lady. Go get our spy back.
Yeah.
No, I heard her
But-
wife
The man who's
complaining.
been-
Her wife was like launching an initiative to be like, it's so terrible of our government that they don't care. It's like,
She broke the law.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying, and obviously, like, it sucks that that's still a law over there, but
It's not our law. It's their law that
Right.
she broke when she was in there. Like, what do you want us to do?
If I
if
went
I go to Thailand,
I
I
was-
can't take pictures in front of their fucking Buddhist statues. That's against the fucking law.
So
I
if you
can't
go-
smoke weed there.
If I get arrested, it's like, excuse me, can you trade for
Mr. President,
spy
Mr.
me?
President,
please, they're gonna chop my head off.
I know I was tweeting about how terrible this government and this country is, but now I need a favor. I need to get a jail-free card.
So crazy.
So fucking aggravating.
It's like, oh, well, if Brittany, since this is such a passion of yours, you're probably working pretty hard like Kim Kardashian was to free all these nonviolent weed criminals from American prisons, right? You were probably working on that. No, you never fucking thought about that? Oh, now all of a sudden you give a shit?
Yeah.
She thought the WNBA was gonna be the biggest trade of her life.
Nice.
I just like how
I
she
hope
thought
she's
she
never
was
been
above the
traded and
law.
that joke doesn't work. It'd be good if it did.
Fucking crazy shit.
Look it up.
Look it up.
Some WNBA team just set a record for most assists in a game, which, like, not knocking an assist, but it is funny, like, of all things that you could get, like,
That's the record.
yeah, or it's like, I mean, I guess someone has to make the basket still for it to be an assist, so.
Yeah.
John Stockton had 20 assists in a game. They had like 30 as a team.
You can't. I like how you can't even look up her WNBA shit anymore.
Well, it just pops up all news.
Yeah, it's all news.
Oh, garbage.
Brittany Griner
Yeah.
case.
No, like you said, so much of it is fucking fabricated. Or
no
like,
trade better than a bad trade. NationalReview.com.
Yeah.
Could the U.S. exchange Brittany Griner for a Russian warlord?
How do you think she would feel when she gets
NBC
back,
News.
knowing that like people are being gunned down in Russia because this guy's back on the streets, and she's like, "At least I'm home with my dogs and my wife
I can
and
smoke my weed.
my vape cartridges."
Let's see, back in a green country. Now we're not federally legal.
Let's go get that spy though, for real.
Yeah,
It's
he's
very upsetting.
He's probably been smuggling a lot of shit. Can you imagine the life of a spy? Do you think you'd be able to do it?
No.
You think you'd be able to be like undercover?
I think I could probably pull off like
I
a
could do,
SEAL or a ranger because that's like so much training.
well, I'm sure the spy training is.
Yeah, but I don't
significant.
think I would take to it. Like I think I could take to that. Like
Yeah.
obviously I'm not like hardened like those dudes, but I'm saying like I could get to a certain degree.
being like
Spy.
undercover in the shit.
Yeah,
I
my
could do that for like a day, maybe.
Can you imagine just living in it?
Nah, I could
like,
not.
hey,
I
hey,
could not.
you have to be in like, you have to be
Hawks in My Hero,
a Spetsnaz undercover.
right?
Yo,
You're gonna be in the Russian embassy undercover
like,
for a
I-
year.
the anxiety,
Digging
Yeah.
your way into like
nah, like I could not do it. I would just be sweating profusely
Yeah.
all the time. I'd be like, what is wrong with this new guy?
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a good fit for me.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think people buy me regular.
Yeah.
Me playing a part, I'm gonna be like, these people are on to me. They can
people-
smell it on me. They know.
these people are onto it.
Oh, if I was a spy, I would be mad smoking cigarettes,
Oh yeah,
darts.
you'd have to. You'd have to.
Put like little intel in like the cigarette
Yeah.
butts and just like flick them out and just like keep on walking.
Your
Someone
job-
pick 'em up,
Smoke signals.
Your job is to figure out who
blowing O's.
in that Russian organization is weak. To be like, so now instead of you being the rat, you got to find other rats in there and just be like, all right, now I got to talk to people and build relations.
Go out for
Shit.
smoke breaks.
Yeah, smoke breaks. Jerk someone off.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You're a spy, man.
I'm sure that's big in Russia.
Welcome to the spy community.
I'm sure they wouldn't kill you for that. I was trying to get information out of him. I offered him a little jerk.
Got a little something else
Yeah.
instead out of them.
I wonder how many times the CIA has hired like an attractive woman just to go fuck somebody.
Oh, that's a thing.
I'm sure it happens
Probably
a lot.
Multiple.
Where it's like, hey, you're smoking.
Yeah,
on
like
over
what do you
here.
even
We
need a spy at that
We
point?
need you to just seduce this man, get some info.
Yeah, this guy will tell you anything in the world
Yeah.
if you keep looking at him like that. Versus my ass, like, so what's going on here anyway? Like,
What is all of this? What year is it?
what's behind that door?
We're gonna be at the Renaissance Fair, people. I gotta return that outfit.
Yeah,
It's not good, man.
I don't know why the entire time we talked about it, I was like, yeah, it'll be good. And then, like, literally that day, I was like, it's probably not going to look right.
No, it doesn't look right at all. It looks disgusting.
Yeah.
I look like a fucking asshole.
And then you sent that picture, and I was like, "Ugh."
Mm.
Not great.
Quick piss. Damn.
You can go up to the middle one if you want.
We're going to the Renaissance Fair on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going up to the middle one. Fuck this shit. Made that decision.
There you go.
Yeah, so how about Trump, man?
Wow. You know, I'm just hearing about this for the first time. It's just very sad.
Very sad.
It's a sad day. I'm sad. Probably the most sad.
I'd say the most sad over anyone than with this Brittany
Look at their
Griner-
family. Do they seem sad?
with this Brittany Griner situation. I couldn't imagine.
Donald Trump being asked if he thinks he could beat Brittany Griner in a game of one-on-one.
Listen, it would be no contest. I would walk in. I walked in. I got one look at her and I said, "There's no way I can't beat her."
Listen, we're going to play a game to one.
I've beaten plenty of women. I've beaten them. I've beaten them
I
up
beat
and
my-
down.
Hey, all my ex-wives, I beat them all in court.
I beat them all in court.
Explain that to me. How different's a basketball court?
When I say Donald Trump, you think winner. That's what you think. and to put me up against someone of this stature, I'm a big man myself.
Small hands.
Some say I have small hands. I could palm a basketball. I could palm a basketball
true.
better than anyone. And that's true. That's true. Hand me any basketball, I'll palm it.
You can ask Shaquille O'Neal. They cut to Shaq. He's like, I've never met this man.
I've never met him. Why Shaq is in the audience, I have no idea. Mr. President.
Mr. President, I appreciate you talking about me when I didn't do that. Charles Barkley shows
No,
up.
I walked in. I saw,
Tell him, Donald. Tell him he got small hands.
Tell him he got small hands. Nah, I walked in. I saw these people, and they don't know me.
That would be hilarious. Trump and Barkley. I would love the idea of Barkley coming back. Because, like, the white guy on Inside the NBA is, like, uber woke.
Yeah.
Because he has, like,
Gay.
Yeah, he's...
Wrong.
Thank you. He's too far that way to where it's like... It seems not... I know he means it, but it seems not even genuine. It's so, like...
Wrong.
To a point.
Yeah.
And then same thing kind of with Kenny. Shaq's pretty normal, and then Charles is very normal. But that would be great if Barkley has, like, an interview with Trump, and he comes back. He's like, I gotta tell y'all, he's not a bad guy. He dumb. He dumber than a box of rocks. But
He dumb as fuck.
I don't think he's a bad guy. And then just having those two, like, he is evil, Charles. And he's like, nah, he dumb.
I talked to him. He's dumb. That's what happens.
There was a comedian talking about meeting him at one of the at his roast, and she was lighting him up pretty good, and he was like, you know, making faces and being like, oh, you know, so she thought he was gonna be upset, and then he calls her over backstage, and she thinks he's gonna have like some shit to say to her, and he's like, great stuff out there. That was great television, and she's like, it like says so much about him that it wasn't like, oh, really funny. And it wasn't anything offensive. Nothing got through to him. Like, nothing affected him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't find anything funny. He wasn't offended by any. All his thought was, that was good TV. Like,
People
that's
like
how
that.
he
People wanna see
processes
that.
it like that.
It
You
was
know?
good TV.
Like, The Apprentice was the #1 show for what, like, it
I've
is.
never seen that show.
Yo,
I watched it.
I was just going
Or my family did, and I would, if I was around, I would watch it. It wasn't like my shit.
I was just going through clips of Gilbert Godfrey on The
Yeah,
Apprentice. It's so goddamn. He
He's-
just doesn't give a shit.
No, it was,
Just he had to like make a speech for like the opening of this restaurant.
He
was,
can't help
He was
himself.
with, and they were like, Gilbert, what did you prepare? Oh, nothing. I'm just gonna go out there and riff. They're like, what? All right, and they go out there, and he's like, what better than to have this bare ass in front? Look at these tits.
yeah, he just says stuff that he thinks is funny, and meanwhile it's like a gala of people who never thought they would be.
Here's a joke for you. Just
Yeah,
so,
him laughing at his own
Oh,
jokes.
so crazy.
People looking around confused.
It's crazy. We talked about him on a podcast, and then the next day he died.
R.I.P.
That's crazy. I forgot he died. That's very upsetting. That one hurt.
Way to go.
Way to bring down the mood, Mark.
So what happens?
You know what? Call the pot early. I'm done.
Nice.
I'm getting the hang of these buttons.
Are you now?
You sit close enough to him.
I haven't heard that Star Wars one in a while. We still got that
We
one
got
on there?
rid of it to
Sons of
get a better
bitches.
one.
Wrong.
It's understandable.
Isn't that good?
That's a lot more applicable than
Yeah.
the...
And it's right next to the, which is nice. Ah,
Do you think it's harder to write a book or to write a movie?
To write it or to do everything else involving a movie?
I guess everything else. Like to produce
a
a
movie.
book or
Probably
to
a
produce a
movie.
movie?
All the moving pieces of like casting and yada yada yada.
That's so
you know?
fuck. And also, like the majority of
Book is writing,
the
publishing.
majority of scripts that get
editing.
written and are then sent to like a production studio are like put in a case and then filed away forever until someone goes in there and is like, well, we got this script reading intern now. Just give them book by book, so
give 'em
stacks of
shit.
book, and then they write, and then they read through all these scripts and they think, all right, this one's not bad. That one gets a stamp pushed through.
So, all right.
So it's like so just to get your script like in front of the right eyes is like so hard. You have to know so many people.
Do you think to write a book from scratch that would like equivalent like a 2-hour movie, or to write a script that's like 2 hours?
What kind of movie though? Like, is it like a full big budget like production movie, or is it just like an indie film that we're filming, and that we're gonna have like
not
our
like
buddies
big
film?
budget like one of the Marvel movies, but just like it's like
Yeah.
another
Not
I don't know
an indie
Vin
movie.
Diesel movie or some shit.
Yeah, like a John Wick,
Yeah,
or something.
sure,
Like,
yeah, not like the top tier, but
like an Office Space.
yeah. Office Space. That's a good example.
Okay,
Office
it's either
Space.
okay. So either we're making Office Space, or like a remake, something on that level, or we write a book.
Yeah, what do you think would be harder, to write like an Office Space script, or to write like an Office Space book?
I think a book would be harder for me.
If we're just talking about like writing it, probably, yeah. Because I mean, a script, because you're gonna have all the same
Is it
content.
like is it like a nonfiction novel, or can it be like a
Whatever you want it to be.
okay?
But if you're writing a book, you're gonna have to think about like every word versus a script. Like
You can rely more on your actors to.
you're like
riff.
mapping it out more. Like you don't need
Yeah.
to make every sentence fucking.
I think
blend
the
art,
hardest part,
you know.
the hardest part with the movie would be the production. I think would be like getting the set, the casting,
Yeah, if we're containing it to just
Getting-
writing the script.
getting the money to like then produce this thing, getting the cameras, renting everything, getting like all your grips and all your back end shit.
Shit, I don't even know about.
Yeah, I mean, there's like fucking 30 people behind that camera.
That shit is fucking wild,
It's
though.
fucked up.
I love seeing like it's wild seeing like the cameraman's view of shit,
Mhm.
and it's crazy also like seeing like another video of like the cameraman
Yeah.
doing that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the fuck? Like this guy's doing shit that's just as crazy as what he's videotaping.
It's like that movie. Who played Thor? Chris Hemsworth. He
Mm.
was in that action movie on Netflix called Extraction.
Yeah,
That dude, that cameraman for that dude was like jumping off.
yeah, it
of
was like a
build-
stunt man.
Yeah, he was like a stunt. He was just jumping off of buildings. He was riding on the front of a car to get this one shot, and then to keep it like continuous, the car would stop. He would jump off and then continue with the shot. It was fucking crazy.
No, it's absolutely
Yeah.
wild. It's like shit like that. It's like
Yeah.
I would love to be like that type of cameraman.
I would
Like,
love to do
sounds
that.
Dope
Yeah,
as fuck.
that sounds fun. Yeah.
There's like a news anchor
Yeah.
cameraman.
Just,
where you're
all
like,
right.
in that fucking booth thing. You
Yeah.
just
Back to this
Yeah.
person. Back to this
A
person.
sports cameraman would be fun too, I think.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be cool.
Being like the dude on like the side of like the UFC cage. Or just on the sidelines of like a game or something.
I would like if I had like a post and I could just kind of like view everything
Yeah.
like from somewhere. I'd be about that. The UFC thing sounds like a lot of work.
Really?
Just like getting in and out, and you got fucking like 3 dudes with you, like trying
Yeah.
to like
I
throw
like
the
that.
cords
I like
around
that
and
go,
everything.
go though. That's
Yeah,
fun.
no, it's very fast paced.
Yeah.
Very fast paced. I also feel like I'd fucking trip and fall like an idiot.
Yeah. Well, that's what that dude behind you wrangling your cords for.
I almost tripped that ring girl at your fight.
Maybe she was asking for it.
Get the fuck out of the way.
Bitch!
It's a big moment for us.
Should have hit her with the stool.
Christ! People don't have any respect.
What do you think would be harder?
I feel like the book would definitely be harder.
If it's just the writing of a script versus a book and not all the extra shit, yeah, I think a book is harder.
definitely.
Writing like the little.
I
shit
wouldn't know-
scenes.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do all the connecting
I
pieces.
wouldn't know
versus
how to
a script, you can just have.
I wouldn't know how to format a book.
So I'm saying it's like everything is a thought, and then every time you make a different choice, you have to go back and check and be like, well, does that work for what I did over here? Like script, you can kind of have like that overview, and then like
Script, you also kind of like it starts small as fuck, where it's like you just have like 7 sticky notes, and it's like beginning, middle, end, midpoint, hook.
Could say the
here.
same thing with the book.
Yeah, you can. An outline, some would call it.
Going back to those language arts days.
I liked the mapping out of everything. I hated the actual sitting down
And like writing it.
and like doing it.
It's like, no, like this is good. Like I can just give me this
I
like
love
with note cards and I can give you a speech.
I
but,
loved like the organization, like the big picture, like mapping all the shit
Yeah.
out.
I fucking hate introductions and conclusions. I could write body paragraphs all goddamn day.
I'm a
Fucking
good
conclusions are
I'm
the
a good
dumbest
fluffer.
thing.
Oh, I'm a great fluffer.
Oh yeah.
I'll fluff the shit out of some papers. I'll fluff them. Dude, it'll be like, think you got 2 papers? Fluff the shit out of it, make it like 4.
You want to go?
This paper's gonna blow its load.
You want to know a good trick that got me through college and a little bit of high school? People, listen up. If you have a word count, say you got to hit 1,000 words, you're at 750, and that shit is clean.
You just start undoing all your can'ts and don'ts and
Well,
stuff.
you have to do that anyways. You have to get rid of your contractions. But
What?
For a formal
for
college
like MLA,
paper,
for like MLA format, you can't use like can't. You got to say like cannot.
Since when?
I don't, always.
You can't say can't.
I don't think so. Won't, will not. You have to.
You just restrict the use of the language.
I think so.
yeah, in MLA in different formats.
I've
and
never
whatnot.
been marked off for that. I've definitely used. I mean, maybe it's only ever happened because I undo them all for word counts.
Possibly. I mean,
So that probably helped you. Yeah.
like the MLA formats and like Chicago formats and like different shit like that. They will or won't let you do it.
Literally never heard of this.
But if you're at 750 and that shit is good, or you're at 800, you need 200 more words. You type the word "the" a shit ton of times. You shrink it down to 0.1 font. You paint that shit white, and you just interlay it in between all the lines throughout your paragraph, so that when you highlight it, it all just blends in. Boom, 1,000 words. You want me to explain it again?
I got it. That's fucking.
Because you're going to double space it anyways. So that space is already there. So you're just taking that point, that like one font, which is only this big for like 50 words, and you're just popping it in where the indent is.
But once you submit that, can they see that?
No, because it's white. It blends in with the paper.
So you're like giving them like a photocopy or something?
No, you're just sending them the thing.
Can't they open it up and fucking see that though?
No,
It's white though.
it's white, so it blends in with the paper, and it's only size one font. So,
So if it was all like
so
at the
even-
bottom, they'd
even if
see
it
something.
even
because
if it
it's-
is black, it's so small to where it just looks like maybe like a couple dots.
Could they click and highlight it though?
Probably,
But it's gonna look
it's
as
gonna
the
be
line.
it's gonna be such a pain in the
You
ass
wouldn't see-
because
yeah.
your cursor is this big when you go to highlight it. So they're gonna go and highlight the entire thing, which is gonna be the line above it and below it. So if they highlight the 2 lines and look at the word count and see the word count's like 90 for 2 sentences, that might get you. But odds are they're either gonna see the word count at the bottom, take off like 15 words for your header, or they're just gonna highlight the entire beginning, middle, end, the entire thing without your header, and they're gonna see your word count at the bottom.
I always hated the idea of a word count though, because it's like,
I can
Well,
get the
I
point across.
yeah, like
I
this
think
is
they also think like certain like a word count equates to like a certain number of pages. So you can't do it for like 1,000 words, or else your paper is gonna be a page and a half and 1,000 words, which doesn't add up. You could tack on like 200 words. That ain't shit.
It was always just so strange to me. Like, all right, I need 1,000 words, or I need like 6 pages, and it's like, I can do it in 3.
right. Like it's done. Like this is where it's good.
Like, if you want me, I'll fluff it. Like you said, I'll fluff it
but
up.
it's going to be worse.
But you're gonna have a bunch of shit to read through instead of just
It's gonna flow
Getting
not
to
as
the
good.
point.
It's gonna have more repetitive words. and
Yeah.
like it's just
keep
not gonna be
repeating
as good.
myself again, and
Time for the
very descriptive.
recap portion.
Yeah,
I was because when I moved here, they didn't know how to like transfer my school shit to here. They didn't know like what level things were.
That's a different. You're in like 8th grade here.
No, like within the grade. So they just put me in like kind of like the first level classes for everything, and I was like, "Oh, we run with that." And apparently that just stayed the same all through high school. That thing that one teacher decided for me in middle school, because I remember being in like an English class in senior year, and just like not a lot popping, you know, like
Yeah.
people are. But I remember like this one. Remember Dominic Starr or something like that. He was like half a
Stir?
yeah.
Yeah,
And he was like half a dickhead, or he was like mostly a dickhead, but then like
would be a nice guy.
yeah, like if you actually talk to
Yeah,
him
he's
one on one, he was
yeah.
a normal person, but then like amongst people, he was all crazy and shit. I remember him like being upset about something and like how'd you write so much shit? And me being like, oh brother, like I wrote one sentence and I've said the same sentence in different words 4 times. Like I don't have anything extra to say about this shit than you do. Like I got my one thought down and I just have enough words to keep making a new sentence saying the same thing. And he was like, I could tell like that hit. He was like, okay, like I always remember that.
I was in the dumb classes in high school. There was 2 teachers in that room.
That's what I'm saying. I was in all those. Like
I had those.
Apparently I got a learning disability.
I was in all those unnecessarily.
My reading comprehension isn't up to par.
See, like
Apparently I'm a little dyslexic.
I should have
Whatever
been in
that
those
means.
classes for science, but I was just in a regular. But then like English,
They were.
which is my best subject, that was the class I had like a second teacher in.
Yeah, they would put me in the. I remember like because my shit was like different where it was. When you're a freshman, you could take a study hall and that counted as a credit, and then after that,
Every year took study hall.
dude. So here's what it was.
Or no, junior senior. I
So
took study
here's what it was. The when you got past sophomore
hall.
year,
Late start.
a study hall didn't count for credits unless you were in like I forget what they call it, whatever like the learning disability thing is.
Yeah.
Unless you had that then it counted for a full credit. So I would take study hall every single year, and then there was like some other shit where like some stuff counted for double. I was able to take certain things, and like I would be in a class with like 2 teachers, and like all the kids were just fucking around and not giving a shit, and I was like, nice, this is good.
Nice. It's my people.
That's why
No
I liked
home-
it. The
no
bar was just so
homework.
low.
No homework, low bar.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if
Which is probably
I'm getting
why.
an A
It's probably why my
for
reading
this
didn't get
amount
better.
of work, and I have 2 teachers, the whole class is fucking around. I don't have homework and like all this shit. Like I have easy tests. They help me out, whatever.
Oh,
And they're also getting an A or like whatever the fuck, and they're having to do so much extra work. It's like
And the college looks at both report cards and are like, A's.
A's an A,
Yeah.
and it's like cool, yeah, no.
Then
no
you find
child
out they
left
don't even
behind
look
is
at that
great.
shit.
Yeah, it's
I
fucking
remember-
stupid.
I remember
They look
being-
at your goddamn checkbook and they're like, he's good, he passed.
I remember being in math class and having the option to take my test in like another room because I don't know, for some bullshit or something. And I would get this math test that I didn't study for. And I would be like, can I go take this in the other room? And they go, yeah, of course, absolutely. Take as long as you need. And I would go into like this other room with this teacher, and I would
Just do it for you.
he would literally walk me through every single problem.
What, you got that practice test?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no,
I love that.
I would literally go in there, and I forgot his name, but his name was Mr. D. And I would be like, hey, Mr. D, we got another math test. And he goes, well, let's figure it out. And we would literally sit down, and I would go, so how does this work? And he would go, you got to do this, and then you go here, and then you do this. And I go, all right, so let me try the next one. He goes, well, that's wrong. Erase that. I would just ace these tests, and they'd be, Mark, you're doing so much
doing
better
great.
in math.
An
You got a
excellent
C.
test taker.
You have a C in math. This is crazy.
Just how wild is that shit, though? It's like, let's not actually teach this kid math. Let's just give him an exception, like
So
give
this-
him an A,
or
and like
teach him shit that is reasonable.
so
pretty
this has-
applicable.
So that's what makes me wonder now, because now I look back on it and I'm like, okay, I just have severe ADHD, because when I was on Adderall, shit was fine. I can read, I can comprehend, I could focus, I could do all that. And it's like, with the ADHD, I'm like looking ahead of like what I'm trying to read, so I can't even fucking read shit because I'm getting all jumbled up and reading from back to front.
Yeah.
I can't comprehend shit because I'm thinking of something over here. And it's like, what if they just back then just knew was that and then taught based on that of like, hey, you do this, let's maybe work around and like you can learn this way, or like think of things this way, and then you can like bypass that ADHD or some shit.
It's almost like waiting for the generation of like kids who had ADHD get into the position of teachers that then
That's almost what it-
know how
exactly.
to teach from that angle.
Because it almost seems like, I'm sure ADHD was a thing forever, but it's like,
But how
I don't know if it's more of a thing now than because we have social media and we have phones.
Yeah,
or
or
when
like
did it start being
diagnosed as
diagnosed
much,
even?
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Exactly,
maybe
yeah.
kids had it, but they didn't know, you're hyper. or
Yeah, this
whatever.
kid's crazy.
Yeah.
Eating too much sugar.
Ants in his pants.
So it's almost like that shit started 20-something years ago when the internet and all that started
yeah, I mean,
popping. And then we
think
were
about all the
we were-
autistic kids
we were
before they
almost like the
called it autism. You're
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like fucking slow.
something's going on with this
Yeah,
guy.
he's just, just something. You just throw your hands up.
No, it is interesting.
He's a little off. Like that literally just
Yeah.
how
And then getting to
So crazy.
college, and I remember going to like the doctor and being like, "Hey, doc, went through school, terrible. Went through JJC, terrible. I'm gonna pay a lot of money for this school. You think there's something wrong with me?" And he gave me a test and he was like, "You have severe ADHD. Here's some Adderall." And I remember taking that. Just railing those fucking things.
Ooh, I wish there was a test for pain. He'd be like, "You are hurting. Here's
are
a bag of Norco."
There, fix it. That shit's terrible. Adderall's not. I don't know. I like it, but it's not good.
Isn't that meth?
Basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Amphetamine.
See, what you do is out there, everybody, the doctor's going to give you 10 milligram. That's just a baby dose, okay? So when you get the 10 milligram, you got to wait the month or the 3 months until your shit's up, and then you go back and you say, Doc, this shit ain't working. Then he's going to give you 20s, but it don't stop there.
But it don't stop there.
Next, what you do is you take the same thing, you go back and you say, Doc, it's working, but it's only working for half the day, or I feel like I'm not reaching my full potential because I'm still struggling in school and I'm slacking at work. The doctor goes, all right, man, let me give you these 30 milligram ones, and you stick with that. Now, 30 milligrams is a sweet spot because you can cut them in quarters and get them in sevens, right? So that's what you really want. Because then you stretch a 30-day prescription into fucking 3, 6, 9. You're at 120 days. Boom. Now, what you can do is you can go back and you can ask for more, and then I'll give you 2 30s a day. And then you're fucking crazy.
That's a lot of meth.
Yeah.
That's a lot of meth.
There's this one dude at work.
I was just about to say.
He's at 90-something milligrams a day.
He needs it, though.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then what you do is, what you do is if you're going to school and he's a great dude. Yeah. If you're going to school and you're working, but you're working overnights and you got to stay up, you pop the 30 in the morning, right? You go to school, you do your thing, you're having fun at school. You get off of school, you go back to work. You grind up like 6 of them. You keep them in a little bag. You just dump them on the back of the forklift. You do a little tootski, a little up. You're rolling all day. You get off of work at 6 a.m. You go back to school, finish up school, get home. You don't need another 30 because when you get home, you're gonna go back to bed.
Once you realize that you don't need sleep, everything opens up.
Doors open, brother. It's tremendous.
Bro, you know what I was gonna tell you about Nick from work? Talking about people with ADD at work. Nick was filling us in on another one of his girlfriend stories.
It's sad,
bro.
I don't know if
literally
we should get too far into it, but
we had time.
We're at time, but I don't know if he's gonna listen to this at some point. Fuck it, I don't know. Who knows? Go.
Just like he well, the thing we were worried about in the beginning, because he had this like nice situation where he moved out of his house, moved into like some friend of his house who still owned it, but she was like already moved out, I think. I don't fully know this, but it sounded like a really good situation where he was getting like, he was paying like very cheap amounts of rent, and then the lady, when she did move, was gonna like maybe sell him the house for cheap or something. Like, it seemed like
he was just gonna take over the payments.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it seemed like a very like don't fuck this up thing.
Good situation.
Start seeing this girl.
Karma paid off.
Yeah, exactly. Start seeing this girl who has a kid and a boyfriend. She eventually breaks up with the boyfriend. They're doing good. He's like head over heels, which like Nick's a sweet guy. So it's like
tremendous.
Yeah, so
Love
like
him.
You feel for him because you're like, you don't want to like rain on a parade, but it's also like, well, let's be logical. But my ass, I'm like, let's look at this clinically and take all the emotion out of it.
We're gonna take the emotion out of everything.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about this.
So for weeks now, I mean, one of the things he said yesterday was the same thing he's been telling you, where she's drinking, so then he's like, okay, I'll have like a couple drinks, and then they go to have sex, and they're in like different positions, and then like as they're switching positions, he's like, I'm like realizing like how much more drunk she is than I thought she was, and now it's like feels weird, and then like now I'm drunk, so now like my dick's not totally working. So then she storms off into another room thinking like, it's me. Like she's so ugly that his dick won't get hard, and he's like, no, whiskey dick. And I'm like, right, like you don't need to explain whiskey dick. Like it's a phenomenon.
I'll last 6 hours on a whiskey dick. That's fine. I'll have the best sex of my life on whiskey dick.
But poor guy was just saying how like 1 second she's talking about how she wants to get sober, then like they come back from their Tennessee vacation, she stops at the store and picks up a handle of Patron. She's can pretty much at least once a week, it sounds like, getting coked up, and then he's like, she offers him some, and he like, I guess if he says no, then she makes him feel bad that she feels bad that she's doing it and he's not doing it.
It's crazy.
Sounds like an awful person.
She really does. She sounds like a real fucking bitch, to be honest. And
Sounds like my ex.
literally yesterday, he sounded like, not panicked, but he sounded like pre-freaked out.
Yeah.
Where he was like,
I am going to pull him aside at some point.
well, he goes, and now I'm in this situation. Because I guess she said something about like, maybe I take a break and work on myself. And he was like, well, now I'm kind of in this situation where like I moved in there and, like.
that other house is gone.
That other house is gone. He's like helping tremendously with the kid, it sounds like picking him up and doing stuff. And
Bought all these tools, doing work on the house.
yeah.
Poor fucking sap.
And like I said, you almost wonder though, because all that, like remember that day he came in, like 3 things were all fucked up at once, like the fridge and the hot water heater both went out at the same time. It's definitely like pessimistic or cynical thinking, but like you almost wonder if like a month before he moved in, she had someone come out and be like, "Oh yeah, this is about to go. This is about to go."
Going bad.
And instead of like fixing it preemptively, she's like, "Well, I'll move him in and then, have some help on it." It's a shitty way to think,
That's
but
a crazy way to think. Yeah.
but also
No,
when it's the same type of
it is
bitch
a-
that's like
it is a way
manipulating
to-
someone's mind.
Yeah. No, it is a way to think. Like, yeah, that's interesting. And on that note, I gotta go. But
Yeah.
All right.
we're gonna continue more on this maybe next week
With an update.
with an updated report. But
Call that a cliffhanger, folks.
catch us at the Renaissance Fair on Saturday, Bristol Renaissance Fair. We're gonna be there, and we're gonna be microdosing on mushrooms. So we're gonna be having fun.
What are you gonna dress as?
Huh? I don't know. I gotta figure. I bought a banana outfit and I don't like it. But regardless, Clip channel,
Ballsy.
this channel, TikTok, Instagram. Catch us on Twitter, Spotify soon, all that other bullshit. And like always, you fuckers take care.
Piccolo?
If I could go in green face, yeah, it's too hot.
Yes.